I've been using a lot of resin lately, but I think it's about time I did something with wood. So to make this puzzle you're going to need a few things. I've got a scrap piece of pine, I've got myself a pencil, you'll need a drill to drill some holes, a chisel and a handsaw. I guess you'd probably call this more of an illusion than an actual trick because it will be impossible to get the pencil out. I've just put my pencil on as a reference to see where we need to cut it. You want about 3/4 of an inch on either side. So I've now marked out the piece of wood, so your dimensions will all come down to the size of your pencil. This is a 4-inch pencil, so I've marked across 6 inches. I'll be cutting down 2 inches. The two end cutouts are 1 inch wide and the middle one is 3/4. First thing I'm going to do is cut this to size, then we'll start cutting the notches out. When cutting your lines, take your time and let the saw do the work. Now we've got our lines cut, let's knock them out. It's really simple to get these pieces out. You just got to get your chisel and sit it on the line and then give it a tap. Now just take your chisel and clean up the edges. The next part of the project is how we're going to make the illusion happen. What we need to do is drop this into a saucepan full of boiling water and we're going to leave it in there for about 5 or 10 minutes. Once your water's boiling, drop your piece of wood in. Now you'll notice that it floats. You've got to make sure you keep it fully submerged. Now I'm just going to weigh it down with some resin that I've got lying around. I'm going to let that sit for about 5 minutes and then we'll come back to it. Make sure you use a pair of tongs when taking this out. Now let's take it to the vise. Just take your time, go nice and easy, because we don't want to go splitting the wood. So you can see there that it's come down about 1 inch lower than these top ones. So now I'm going to leave it in the vise for a couple of days. I'll let it dry out and then I'll drill the holes. It's been a couple of days, we'll take it out now and hopefully it's kept its shape. So there you can see it stayed nice and squished there, so we're just going to drill a hole through the top here. So there you can see we've got the holes drilled all the way through the middle pieces. Now before we go put this in water again, we need to make sure we put our pencil in. So just slide your pencil through just like that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put this back into some water, but we're only going to put this end in. That way we don't get the pencil wet. So we're just going to put it like this in the saucepan and we'll just leave it in for a couple of minutes. We just want to get some moisture back in the timber, that way it'll spread back out. Can you see it's already expanding as we add the water? Now we're just going to let it dry. So I've let that sit for a couple of days. Now I'm going to take it to the sander and just sand all the tops nice and flat, and I'll run over all these sharp edges and make them all nice and smooth. So now it's all sanded, there's just one more thing I want to do. To make it seem like this trick is even possible, I want to put a hole in the back here, just to make people try and think that maybe somehow you squeeze the pencil through a little hole in the back or something like that, just to take the focus away of how we actually did it. So you can see here that the pencil lines up with the hole we just drilled, just to make people even more curious as to how we did it. Well, there it is guys, the pencil through the wood trick. Now that hole at the back there, make sure it's a bit smaller than the pencil obviously, so you can't get it back out. It was super easy to make, so you can make one of these and fool all your friends with it. If this is your first time here and you like what you see, go ahead and subscribe. I put new how-to and build videos out every couple of weeks. You can also check out my Facebook and my Instagram pages. I post sneak peeks of upcoming projects. Well, that's all for this week's episode. I hope you liked this one. Give me a big thumbs up if you did, and I'll catch you next time.